reaches of the universe is the star planet Symbion, a perfect world until their biological experiments exploded, creating an exotic realm beyond all belief. As mutant life forms ravaged their global paradise, a new and incredible species emerged, the Sectaurs, with Prince Dargon leading his warriors of the Shining Realm against the evil General Spydrax. He would destroy all to rule all. His terror troops of the Dark Domain know no mercy. The brave, the bold, and the fearless stand with Dargon. The brutal and cruel attack with Spydrax. These are the Sectaurs, the warriors of Symbion.
Hey everybody, the Freelance are back again to do another showcase for Freelance for you guys. This time I decided to do something you don't really see on YouTube very often, probably due to lack of interest in the toy line. As you know from the intro video, I wanted to talk about this. This is a Sectaur. A toy line that, even though the stamping on it says 1984, was produced in 1985 by Coleco, who were also famous for the ColecoVision video game entertainment system way back when. We're going old school here, people, and I mean serious. My sister was actually the one who had these toys. I was born in 1984, so I had memories of the 80s and a lot of the 80s toys because of her, but it's vague at best. It really you know what, I'll save that story for another day. That's a long story I'm not going to go into. The point being, she had like nearly every one of the figures in this toy line because it was a very short-lived line. They only did one set. There was supposed to be a second, but due to lack of interest in the toy line, it was scrapped. Which is really too bad, because these things are a lot of fun, but it's one of those deals where, you know, back then, especially, and even now, kids, they don't want big, ugly bugs. Especially back then, they wanted dinosaurs. You know, everybody remembers Dino Riders. That's what kids wanted. That's what I wanted. You know, but my sister had always had an affinity for insects, so this line just grew on her. Or drew in, or whatever. Point being that these two characters in particular are Pinsor and Battle Beetle. Now let me read you their biographies really quickly. This is coming off of the sectaurs.fansector.com. Okay, so these are not my biographies. Pinsor. Humorless and lacking in social graces. Pinsor's peasant background is readily apparent. However, as Dargon, who is the main character, the prince of this place called the Shining Realm. Yes, the Shining Realm, that's where the good guys lived. As Prince Dargon's fiercest friend, he is utterly reliable. His massive claws and great physical strength make conventional weapons seldom necessary, and also serve to offset his inability to lead. And yet, he has this humongous shield, this humongous battle axe, a sword, sorry, my mind went blank for a second, and a gun. But he doesn't really need conventional weapons. Okay. Now, Battle Beetle. This is really funny. You might get a kick out of this one. I sure did. Pinsor's telebond requires constant attention to keep him from going berserk. Fueled by nervous energy, always moving with great speed and agility, Battle Beetle is happiest in the thick of combat. Only Pinsor's soothing voice and gentle manner keep Battle Beetle from being a true menace. That completely conflicts with Pinsor's otherwise, earlier biography, but whatever. You know what? That doesn't matter. Biographies aren't important, because the important part was that these were just fun toys. First off, let's talk about Battle Beetle, because he's actually the fun part. You wanted these for the bugs. Well, first of all, as you've probably noticed by now, when you play with them, you put your hand in this glove. And that becomes his feet, so you can walk him along. Now, granted, of course, as we all know, insects have 6 legs, and he only has 4, well, 5. And it was a great way to flick off your friends. And, and what kid doesn't want to have an excuse to do that? Or your parents, even better, if you really didn't like your parents. You know? Sure, Mom, I'll be right there to take out the trash. Yeah. Just let me put down my toy. Okay. Yeah. I'm sorry. So, Battle Beetle. You can see he's got some nice little detail. I mean, nothing fantastic, mind you, but for God's sakes, it's an 80s toy, so get over it. I do like his little furry booty here. That's funny. And, I mean, he's sporting some serious junk. He's got junk in his trunk. Let's just throw it out there, okay? And it's fuzzy, too. He really needs to shave that thing. But the best part about him is this. You see this little ring that I've had my finger in the whole time? You do this, and it pinches him together. Now, this is actually easier without Pinsor on top of him, because Pinsor does tend to make his arm stick right here. I don't know, yeah. Because his legs kick out. Because unfortunately, when they were putting these together, they didn't design the seats as well as they should have. If they'd have pulled this just a little farther back and not worried about having this moving butt thing, which doesn't serve much purpose anyway, because you're really not going to... Well, I guess I can see that, yeah. See, here's what it's supposed to look like when you're playing with them. Okay, here we go. He's basically going to look like this, and then his butt sticks up to move with your arm. So I can see where they were coming from. But me personally, I always kept my hand like this. So there's no need for that. So they could have pulled the cockpit back. But, you know, whatever. Again, unfortunately, this was a failed toy line. Pinsor himself is... Well, he's unfortunately not that fantastic. You definitely bought these for the bugs. You really didn't buy them for the actual figures. What's nice, though, is that you can still play with them and keep Pinsor here on your hand. So that's always fun. Now, they do have a little bit of articulation to them. You can get some halfway perverted version of the Perceptor kick. It's more like he's, I don't know, peeing on a hydrant. Whatever. It does get bend at the knee. And you can swing out a little bit. So he's kind of doing his Irish jig thing. Fitting, considering his face. I think one of the things that was probably really off-putting about them is the fact that if you notice, they have no pupils whatsoever. And this is the same for pretty much any toy in the line. These are supposed to be the good guys, and they're kind of menacing. So, you can see where a lot of kids really didn't care for that. Arms do not bend. They are stuck in that position. That's it. You can get a little bit of movement up and down and back and forth at the shoulder. That's about the extent of it. The heads will go 360 if you force them. What's funny about them, though, and this is something I used to really bug her, no pun intended, I used to bug my sister with, their heads are made of rubber, so you can actually sit and squeeze the crap out of them. We used to have this one that we'd squeezed it so badly that you could just whoosh, and his head would just stay like that for a good hour while it was trying to swell back out. But all in all, if you're a fan of 80s toys, and you want to go a little bit off of the beaten path, you know, Transformers, G.I. Joes, Mask, all great toys. Don't get me wrong, they're all great toys. But if you want to go a little bit off, these things are the way to go. Like, I showed you these at Christmas before. My mother bought me these, and I was just floored to even see them. And I've actually got a package arriving that, with the exception of 2 figures will complete my collection, because there weren't very many in the line to begin with, like I said. And once I get those, I'll show even more of them off. Got a couple others, but I won't get to them just yet. Right now I wanted to do this because this is the only one where I can do 2 complete with a big bug. I've got a bunch of little bug guys, but I don't have the big bugs yet. Those are coming. So, everybody, this is the Freelancer and Battle Beetle. He's a little stiff in the arms for some reason. I don't remember him being this bad. But me, Battle Beetle, and Pinsor, thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you guys later. And don't forget about this. If nothing else, that should sell it for you. Catch you later, guys. See ya.